So today, as I flip the battery chargers and I come out into the garage trying to make a plan for today, the weatherman says it's not going to go over freezing, and it is about in the mid-20s, which makes it difficult to paint, but I hope it's going to warm up a little bit. The truth is, if I had my choice of it's really going to be cold and the second choice is the wind is going to be blowing, I'd rather have it cold. By the end of this day, this is going to be a laundromat. We've been through this before. We have Steve's parts ready to backmask, and a cold but definitely a paintable day with no chance of rain, so we're going to try to take advantage of it. Well, after a really big cup of coffee, maybe even a coffee and a half, coming down to the shop, it's wonderful to be in some nice warm environment. Really nice, in fact. Now we got to lay out what we want to do now. What's going to happen today, I want to get the black part of Steve's job painted. He was here yesterday. We laid out the tape. Actually, he laid it out, so I don't have to assume if something's wrong here, he's going to sue me. But anyway, the backmasking part of this, we're ready for backmasking. It's going to warm up in the next hour or so. Once it warms up, of course, I'll be real happy, and we'll try to do some spray painting. If we get the black on this today, that'll really be nice. And our tank's been drying up by the heating vent overnight. Oh, that's going to be beautiful. Maybe get some white on that in the next day or so. But the first thing is to get Steve's job backmasked and get some of that black on there. So the first thing, of course, what we did while Steve was here, I marked which side of this was going to be red. Get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. And of course, every time I do one of these, I always thank my late friend Walt Prey, custom car painter in California, for a great tip of using the tin foil. This has served me well over 50 years. Now, a couple of tips may or may not be useful when you're doing this kind of work. Tin foil, way better than using up your Playboy magazines. I always do this, unless I forget, a couple of shots on a clean shirt so that the tape isn't overly sticky, leaving residue on the part, or in the worst scenario, pulling up some paint unnecessarily. Now this part, the tape is going to stay on, this part isn't. I've already factored that into this wonderful paint layout that we're going to have. Should be a relatively simple paint job today, if I can get some of this done today. And I never know how much. We've got a lot of other things going on here, and every once in a while I get a little surprise. Santa Claus comes to see me, or it's the reverse Santa Claus. I have to go see him. Anyway, getting a little piece up here. And by the way, when you use this tin foil, you don't need to buy the good quality stuff, but it is helpful if you buy the wider. And that just makes it a little bit easier. Again, there's nothing really high-tech about this, except the fact it works real well. Another tip, whenever you suspect that maybe your paint is in jeopardy of getting pulled up from the tape, warm the tape with a little hair dryer, heat gun, whatever. The good thing about backmasking is, as long as you get the part covered, pretty low tech. At least I left this a little bit out. You believe this? Okay. So, we got one part done. I've got to backmask all the stuff. And by then, this will be a little while because I want to be careful about doing the bigger parts. But the nice thing is, by the time I get done with this, it'll be a little bit warmer outside. Now, another little thing I did yesterday night, I threw all the towels in the work laundry. We have a work laundry and a house laundry. And the reason for that is I wanted to have as little dust, Bondo dust, whatever you want to call it, on these parts when I was backmasking them, because it's another, anything that could be a potential contaminant I want to keep out. At this point in the paint job, we'd like to have it as clean as possible. And before I actually go to paint any of these parts, I'll make sure I press that tape down for the final time. Now another thing with backmasking that I found, if you try to get too cute, or you try to, here's just an example with this part, that's why I thought I'd use it. I'm trying to get one piece to come around the whole part. Sometimes you out-cute yourself. It just isn't worth the effort. In this case, doing it in several parts, it's going to get the job done. It's going to go just as fast, maybe faster. But it would be cute if you were doing a demo and you want to impress your wife or something. In my case, no matter what I do, Karen's never impressed. But anyway, even this part, I want to make sure that edge is down, and I'm just going to methodically go through this one part at a time. And an hour from now, it's going to be beautiful outside. It'll be up 28, 29 degrees. Supposed to go to in the low 30s today. I always try to save either the biggest or the most complex part for last. In this case, it's the fairing. Now, Karen, being the helpful partner that she is, she just checked the weather for me, said it is 28 right now. It's gone from 22 to 28 in about 2 hours. So we're getting ready to paint here. It won't be long. Oh, here's what I love about the lovely Mrs. Ertnowski. She knows I'm down here, getting ready to go out in a tundra soon. Brings me down a nice, really hot cup of coffee. Thank you, Karen. So there's a couple little things here, just to mention. I never worry about what overspray goes inside the fairing, although I do like to catch that right to the edge. The reason is, in the end, I would always paint this with a brush with some flat black. That's of course what I'll do to all my parts, so that inside they'll be flat black no matter what. And also, there's a funny thing with the tank. There's a big part of the tank that bulges down, and when I got the bike, everything was custom painted with flames and skulls, but that bottom thing was black. I didn't know why, because you can see through on an FZR, see through the frame and see that part of it. So again, this, I guess, we'll have to deal with. Another thing, this has to stay white, and I need to be able to spray down in here enough so that Steve can match up the black, assuming he gets in there with a brush or some, and you know, in the worst of all worlds, you just leave it like that. But I like to paint it black. Working from Steve's concept sketch, I think the last thing we got to do is backmask the tank, finish our coffee, and get out into the tundra where it's sneaking up on 30 degrees here. At this point in the project on, that brace that we made, and we made the same brace, of course, for the FZR. That brace is going to allow us a lot of options in setting this up for the paint, especially when it comes to the clear, because with the clear we really want to get around every edge and around everything. This, we're only dealing with half of the part, so we always can grab it or lay it on something, but that's really worked out well. And the one for the FZR worked out just as well. I suggest everybody do that. It takes a very short amount of time, and it's well worth it at this point. Well, it's worth it, period. Okay, great milestone here. We got all the backmasking done. The temperature is coming up on 30 degrees. It just couldn't be any more fun than this. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some 400, the Rhino Wet, and just lightly look for any spots on here that may be a problem. I did feel a few. I didn't see them. Here's one right here. Just to clean it up just a little bit. And it looks like we're definitely going to get some painting done today. But it's still cold out there. This is 400 wet and dry, and this is one step. You probably, if you didn't do this, nothing bad would happen. But I do feel, and I'll do it on both sides, just a dusting. And I'm going to wipe these down with a tack rag. I'll load up the black. By the way, if you buy black, found this out, but I'm not sure it's totally true yet. We're going to find out. That there's a color called Bentley Black that is blacker than the black that they sell at Chard. Or maybe they sell where you are, I don't know. But next time I have to buy black, I'm going to try and see if that color, supposedly it shines better. Maybe they're lying. You can't believe anything they say anyway, or that I say. Okay, every part's ready, tack rag, and we're ready to paint. Now it's going to take 3 coats of black, roughly 20 minutes apart. By the time I get the last part painted, I'll just start hanging these up in a laundromat. Oh, the laundromat is starting to do a good business. And we look and see. Now in this cold weather, that paint definitely takes a long time to dry. So there's not going to be much. I'm getting 3 coats of black on everything today. And then it's going to sit out in the garage and dry. One by one. But it is it's brutally cold out here. Now the wind is coming up just in the nick of time. Oh man, I think we're just going to get this painted. I only got the tank left. It's coming out beautiful. Now what I'm doing after a little coffee break. Oh yeah, that's drying up nice. Okay. As long as everything's drying up nice. Oh yeah. Boy, in the cold weather, that paint really lays down. Assuming we don't get pneumonia before the day is over. Yeah, it's drying up nice. Oh yeah. That is drying up nice. Alright, the only thing left is the tank. Well, that certainly looks nice to me. Certainly looks like that'll work. And just in time, the wind is making it even harder than it normally would be. You get that into the laundromat. Well, what we affectionately call a laundromat is full of clothes again. Oh, yay. What a day. Cold. Only one way to describe this day, cold. That looks like everything's going to dry up nicely out here. We'll come back to this tomorrow, and hopefully this will be, well, one step further toward having this project out of the way anyway. I think that's going to be real nice. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and you can see this paint is really nice. We've really had good luck with it. Anyway, again, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.